Good evening. First, as always, today's news headlines. In Grozny, curfew is being introduced. Operation Hope is being implemented. A 7-volume edition of Lenin's works, which were once banned by the Communist Party, is being prepared. The full stabilization of the situation in Georgia will come in the middle of March, predicted Premier of the Provisional Government Tengiz Sequel. State of emergency is declared in Algeria. 15 people die in ethnic conflicts in South Africa. Russia celebrates Pushkin Day. The events in the Chechen Republic are at the top of the news tonight. This is a serious factor in the collapse not of the CIS, but of Russia itself. Chechen President Jakhar Dudayev signed a decree declaring a curfew in Grozny beginning February 11th. It will be in effect from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. By the same decree, all military units, independent of their subordination, are moved to an alert status. The military commissar of the Republic has been ordered to call up reserves, including Afghanistan war veterans, border forces, cadets, and special forces. They will have control in the Republic during 30 days, the period established by that Republic's Supreme Soviet. However, this decree does not suspend the powers of the organs of state power. Because of the lack of both government and satellite communications with Grozny, we have not been able to get an official commentary on these events. However, the way the events are developing allows us to make several conclusions about the reasons for the situation. General Dudayev, who came to power not long ago, is attempting to enhance his own position, to do everything in order to recognize his republic's independence from Russia. Today's decree is a logical continuation of the Chechen authorities' policy to give their republic all the attributes of an independent state, including creating their own military forces. Military bases still remain on that republic, who refuse to swear on the Koran their allegiance to the new government. They are also increasing their position with the idea of independence and national unity. Now they only have to find a foreign enemy. These new powers will allow the government to fight crime, weaken the opposition, and resolve the issue of territories disputed with Ingushetia. Dudayev could obtain unlimited powers, and what he would do with them after the 30-day deadline set by the parliament, time will tell. According to the Defense Ministry Press Center, North Caucasus military units were not put on alert status. Whether it's good or bad, there has been no rapid reaction to these events. We can make another analogy to the process of the collapse of the USSR and the lack of stability of the Commonwealth. The fate of the Commonwealth and the fate of Russia depend not on the mood of the people, but on the actions of our leaders. And our future depends on whether our main political leaders can find contact among themselves. The influence of civil society is unfortunately still insignificant. However, it would be much more beneficial to society itself to unify peacefully in a commonwealth than to divide up into increasingly smaller parts. The international information agencies are reporting as their top story the beginning of the Operation Hope program, which will bring humanitarian help to the countries of the CIS. Today, planes arrived in 12 cities, and between February 10th and 24th, about 50 flights will arrive with over 550,000 tons of food and medical supplies. There is no better symbol for our new era than the Operation Hope, which is here to give assistance to a former opponent in the Cold War. Hans-Dietrich Genscher said that we should not feel alone because the fate of peoples who are pursuing democracy and economic reform is inextricably linked. James Baker said that we should not consider this assistance to be charity. It is partnership and investment in the stability of the planet. In the next 10 to 14 days, 54 airplanes will arrive from Frankfurt and Turkish airlines or airports with food and medical supplies. Japan has also supplied dozens of tons of equipment and goods. Germans are the pioneers of this assistance effort, having sent already 302 aircraft. Genscher's agency is covering all the hard currency expenses of transportation. The main question is how we will get these items to the people who need them. If we can put it to use and not simply throw up our hands in desperation in these difficult times. In the skies over Moscow, American military transport aircraft have appeared again with humanitarian help. The pilots have fulfilled their mission, having brought to Moscow their humanitarian assistance, and for distribution of the items, the American Salvation Army has joined the effort. In the framework of Project Hope, military aircraft will arrive in 54 flights in the next 2 weeks, bringing 4.5 million pounds of food and medical supplies. The cargo arriving in Moscow today will soon be given to the territorial centers of social services and will then be distributed to those who need it. This is the military transport aircraft S-141 of the United States. It landed today in the capital of the Azerbaijani Republic. It brought medical supplies and equipment. We are awaiting 3 more similar aircraft. The supplies will be given to children's hospitals, homes for old people, and also the population of border regions and Nagorno-Karabakh residents. But all the population of the Republic will benefit, and without regard to their nationality. The distribution of the medical supplies and food will be distributed to their destinations under the strict control of American inspectors. Humanitarian assistance is being sent here intensively to the Tajik Republic. News from the Russian White House: Ruslan Khasbolatov has left the White House and left for Tyumen. Foreseeing the dissatisfaction of the oil workers there, he is coming with serious government proposals to reduce the tensions there. The most important thing, he said, is creating a new social contract. Gennady Burbulis is discussing with industrial workers. He said that the opportunities for effective reform of a non-party government have exhausted themselves, and the main result of yesterday's Congress of Civil and Patriotic Forces of Russia, which ended in Moscow, is the creation of a center-right movement to oppose the current government and base itself on the support of entrepreneurs. The government, they believe, is relying on the support only of state enterprises. 5 minutes was all that was given to the television and radio reporters for photo opportunities by this commission of the Supreme Soviet meeting with the Russian enterprise directors. It is the enterprise directors gathered here to tell the government about the bumps and bruises they have received during the reform process. It is a better way of communicating their needs in a calm atmosphere to the government. If the reforms are not carried out with the strength and energy of the producers, the Deputy Premier said, they will be unsuccessful. The entrepreneurs are dissatisfied by the fact that the reform process was insufficiently prepared. Giant factories and small businesses are placed in identical situations, they said. Taxes are so high that they prevent investment, and equipment is obsolete. Hyperinflation and the privatization law are ineffective. The conversation was difficult but beneficial. We hope so. Today, at the session of the Presidium of the Russian Supreme Soviet, the date for the beginning of the Congress of People's Deputies of the Russian Federation was named. It's April 20th. The first Deputy Speaker of the Parliament, Sergei Filatov, and a number of members of the Presidium said that they hope that the Congress will take up the issues, first of all, of economic reform, because by the end of April, the first results of reform after the liberalization of prices will be apparent. The Congress will also finally adopt a new constitution for Russia, because the current constitution, having been amended so many times, is obsolete and limits our democratic development. The issues of the Russian North will also be a main topic on the Congress's agenda. The Presidium sent to the Parliament for confirmation the agreements on reductions in strategic nuclear weapons and conventional forces in Europe. Both of these documents, which provide for sharp reductions, are being prepared for ratification in the United States as well. A decision was made to create a parliamentary group which would control military and technical cooperation between Russia and foreign countries. A deputies commission was created to decide how to spend